Hi and welcome to the Resources Roadhouse Lockdown Lowdown series, and today I'm speaking with Andrew Tunks, who's Managing Director of Meteoric Resources. Now, Andrew, Meteoric's probably better known for its work over in Brazil these days at the Juarina project, but we'll get onto that later on, because most recently you've just acquired a new gold project over in Western Australia, the Palm Springs Gold Project. It's got a couple of advanced prospects out there for you to play with. But can you fill us in on the details of what sort of dragged you to the Palm Springs project and your intentions there?
What dragged us there was the state of the world at the moment, and it doesn't look like we're going to Brazil anytime soon. Luckily for us, we've got a team already over there, but we're conscious of the fact that we won't be heading over, and we got a pretty clear message from some of our shareholders: find an Aussie project if you can. Luckily for us, we'd looked at a lot during the search that ended up at Juarina. We'd looked at a lot of other projects, and we'd actually seen Palm Springs back then as well. We liked it then, but what put us off Palm Springs back then is that there's no digital data. So you have to go back through the old paper. There's 60 odd paper sections through the Butchers Creek deposit from the 1990s. And to recollate and to really understand what's going on, you've got to go back and retrieve that data. And That's an enormous job. And last time we started that, and then we found Juarina, so we sort of left it behind. But it stuck in the back of my mind as an interesting project because I think no one else could be bothered doing the work. And so I thought, I wonder if that's still around, and it was available. And then we knuckled down and we knocked out the work. And then some really clear messages came out of that for us. There's ore in the bottom of the pit. There's some great intercepts. It's very structurally controlled, and we can see exactly what that is. There's a host unit. It's a volcanic unit in a sea of sediment. And right at the culmination of the anticline, the fold, is where all the mineralisation occurs. So it's a bit like it's a structural setting like Bendigo, right at the top of the antiforms, right where you get it. Now, that's the only similarity to Bendigo. It's not black shales, it's a different age, everything else. But it's shallow, it's got a production history. There's been a lot of work done. The work is difficult now. We're never going to get the digital data. It's gone.
Yeah.
So we have to start again from scratch to some extent, but we've got a great lead in. From our work, we absolutely realise that there's ore in the bottom of the pit. The pit only goes down 25 metres.
So this is the Butchers Creek pit.
Yeah, this is Butchers Creek. And the pit was mined at a gold price of $500 an ounce. And when they closed it down, they only went for 2 years. They produced only about 50,000 ounces. But when they closed it down, their all-in sustaining costs for the whole company, Precious Metals Australia, was $540 an ounce. So let's double that. So what? Still a great project, So we see a lot of upside to fast track that part of the project, Butchers Creek itself. And then on top of that, we think that there's some great exploration plays. Northern Star had their maiden ever resource for Northern Star at Golden Crown. And at the time, their market cap was only $10 million back in 2007. So it goes to show that from little things,
Yeah.
So we think that there's multiple opportunities up here. We've submitted our program of works to the government, and as soon as they give us the tick, we're up there, we're drilling. We'll take certainly one, but maybe even 2 rigs, a diamond and an RC rig. We're still developing those plans for exactly what we're going to do, but we're very confident that there's some open at depth, along strike, down plunge ore bodies, and we're going to go and drill them.
So, just sort of going back to what you were saying, you don't have, you've got paper data, so you've got all the old-fashioned stuff. So you're going in pretty much almost a greenfields project, because in you go, you haven't got the database there to really work on. You've got to drill it out and bring it up to 2012 JORC yourself, and so it's pretty much a new thing.
Yeah, that's right. Well, when they shut down the project, they actually tipped all the core into the old pit, it's gone. We can't recreate. There's no pops. We can't recreate those samples. We have collar coordinates for them in the local grid, but we're not sure exactly. We can't find any collars anymore. This is all 25 years ago. There's been no work done in that time since the mine at Butchers Creek closed. So there's been work on other prospects like at Golden Crown where Northern Star came, but at Butchers Creek, which is where we're going to start, there's not been a single drill hole drilled since 97. There's been no geophysics. There's been no geochem. There's nothing. And the world has changed from a gold price of $500 an ounce to a gold price of, Aussie, I don't know what it is today, but 2.5, 2.6. It's a different world. And all that was uneconomic in the bottom of that pit will be economic now for sure.
Well, I suppose you can't wait to really get out there. So,
I'm very excited, Walt.
Yeah. So you've got plans for one, maybe two drill rigs up there. So we'll wait and see what happens there. So speaking of drill rigs, as we are, you've currently got drill rigs operating over in Brazil at your arena. This has been your main project for quite some time now. So what's happening over there?
So we've drilled. We're testing two of the projects at your arena. One called Donna Maria and the other one called Crentes. They both have resources on them. So the drilling was threefold really. It was to look to convert some of the inferred resource into indicated, because there's a very positive scoping study that was previously done here. Again, since we picked up this project, the Brazilian gold price has almost doubled, right? And since the scoping study was done by Crusader back in 2016, the Brazilian gold price has more than doubled. So, but we can't release that scoping study or even a redone version because there's not enough of the resource indicated. So we need to convert some ounces. So we're doing some drilling for that. We're looking to extend the resource. The current resource is around 256,000 ounces. We're looking to grow that by drilling underneath the known ore zones. And then last year, and I'm sure you'll remember, because I remember talking to you about fengite and the mineral that's indicative of our mineralisation there. Now that occurs with the super high grade gold zones. And so that's that. But we have another style of mineralisation here, which we think underpins the whole geothermal system here. We think that there's a porphyry copper. And last year in hole 10, we hit 53 metres at, I think it was 1.5 grams of gold and 0.3 copper. Now that's very different than the sort of 20 metres at 90 grams, which is what got the market excited. But we think that's probably the driving system. We think it's earlier, so it predates the gold. Yes, it predates the gold, and the gold is overprinted on top of that. And we're going to drill underneath that and see what happens. This is an enormous system, and yes, we found some very high-grade small parts of it, but we think that there's somewhere in there, we think that there's a much bigger system. And so some of our exploration this year is targeting that. That hole just started about 2 days ago. So that I'm always, when you're drilling, it's still like a treasure hunt for me. And when the drill rigs are going, I'm talking to the guys every day and looking at the pictures. It's an exciting time.
All right. Well, obviously, the way things are, you're in your office there, and all the things are happening in Brazil, and all the things are happening over here in WA. So, no doubt you're waiting with bated breath for results to come through, and we can see what happens.
Absolutely. I might get to WA this year. I hope. Until a week or two ago, I was absolutely certain of that. But with the current situation in Victoria, I don't know anymore. Luckily, though, I've got a great guy in WA, Tony Cormack, who used to run the cobalt stuff in Canada for us when I first started with the company. So he's based in Perth, and he's going to run the WA stuff for me. And I've already got a great team in Brazil. So while I can't get there, I'm confident of the staff that I have, and they really don't need me to hold their hand. So let's go.
All right. Well, Andrew, as always, the truth is in the drill bit. So we'll be waiting to see what it returns to us. And when you start getting a few results, give us a call and we'll have another chat, and we'll let everybody know what's going on at the Resources Roadhouse.
Absolutely, mate. I'll be delighted to talk to you.